Top Thrill Dragster, an intimate hydraulic launching roller coaster, which I briefly covered in my video yesterday, is getting an extended layout. Most enthusiasts are probably looking at their screen saying old news, but hopefully I can share some information with you that you did not know. And it just seems like everybody's excited for Dragster Reimagined, but nobody really knows the severity of the project. So currently the main questions are how much will it change, will it break the height record, nobody knows, and obviously the park is pretty quiet about it. The last park update we got was a teaser video which showed us a whole bunch of nothing. But with the park opening in just 2 days, how much can it really hide? So before we get into the future of the record-breaking Dragster, make sure you have liked and subscribed so you can help me against the YouTube algorithm. Also follow my socials linked down below as I'm highly interactive with everybody over there. Moving back on the Dragster, before any construction came out, I thought this was going to be another what's in the shed. If you don't know what I'm referring to, a roller coaster at Kings Island, Mystic Timbers, had an over-dramatic slogan. This slogan was what's in the shed, but what was really in the shed was just a brake run and flashing lights. So I thought Dragster Reimagined was the new what's in the shed. I thought we would see new LSMs, a new color scheme, and maybe new trains. Although those are expensive changes I just named, I didn't think that we'll get a whole extended layout like we are receiving. And yes, we do have the evidence for extended layout, meaning it's all but confirmed now. But before we get into the construction, let's get technical. Linear synchronous motors, also known as LSMs, are a form of electromagnetic propulsion capable of getting roller coasters up to insane speeds. LSMs also contain no moving parts, hence why it's so much more reliable than something like the hydraulic launching system that contains various moving parts causing excessive downtime. Now that we know the basics of the LSM launch, we should talk about the construction and plans of Dragster. Lately, there's been a lot of construction around this plot and even concrete being poured for this alleged footer. But if you don't know what a footer is, it's just concrete supports that hold up other supports. Yeah, back to the footers. I was a little confused why they were putting gravel all around it, but I've been told that they're putting gravel to remove excess water so they can have a nice dry base to pour concrete, which makes sense. And some spike naysayers who don't believe this is a footer say that this is a queue line. I just don't see this, and it's pretty far from the station, and the old station building is still standing, meaning they're probably going to reuse it. Speaking of stuff still standing, as I'm making this video, the bleachers are still there, so the views of this mesmerizing coaster might not be taken away from us. Back on the footers, yes, footers. There's another footer about 265 feet away from the original triangle footer that we've been looking at for weeks. I'm really trying to figure out what's the point of this other footer. Two footers connecting 265 feet away from each other would look pretty odd, but maybe that confirms that it's going to be over 500 feet. And I doubt this other footer is for the other side of the top hat because the extended layout on both sides just seems way too expensive and a bit excessive in my opinion. Yes, I said both sides, meaning I'm a firm believer in the spike theory. Do I think it's going to exceed 500 feet? Nah, I wouldn't bet on it, but 400 to 475 is the sweet spot. But I wouldn't be surprised if we seen a 500-foot spike either, because we know Cedar Point loves breaking their records. I mean, they broke the 200, 300, and 400-foot mark. Imagine breaking the 500 too. And if you're wondering what's on the Dragster plot currently, well, it's just a top hat. And the last thing we heard was Traxxas track being sent to Genoa, Italy, which is about 3 hours away from Zamperella's main plant. But if you don't know who Zamperella is, they're a ride manufacturer who has very little experience in roller coaster manufacturing. But they're trying to change that, and we're going to get into that in 1 second. But comment down below if you think Cedar Fair is actually bold enough to work with Zamperella on such a huge project. But let's just hope this was the closest, fastest port to getting it to Intamin and not Zamperella. But you never know, because Cedar Fair and Zamperella's relationship seem pretty tight knit. And to add even more worry, it seems like Zamperella is getting into the LSM game. If you haven't heard, they're remastering an old intimate hydraulic launch coaster called Senza Fiats from Italy, which they're putting LSMs on. But who knows, could you see Zamperella doing Top Thrill Dragster Reimagined? Or maybe even a bulk deal for Accelerator 2, because that has been closed for over a year, but none of that has gotten shipped off, so who knows. Now that the park is opening in 2 days, I think Cedar Point will start doing some teasing really soon. So until then, we speculate. So here's my final conclusion. Extended layout past the top hat. Even though that'll be cool, I gotta pass on it. A 365 foot to 475 foot twisted spike. Something about that just sounds right. But if you have any questions, make sure you comment them down below. I usually answer every comment. And if you enjoyed the video, make sure you leave a like and subscribe for more videos just like this. I'm Main Coasters, and I'll see you all later.